Hello there, and welcome to this week's meta video. There's not a lot that's happened over the weekend. Oh, sorry, my name's Dan. I'm a stats nerd and Warhammer bloke. Anyway, so there's not a lot that's really happened over the weekend, so I think we're just going to go through some tournaments. There's been, I think, the biggest tournament, pardon me, that we've had so far, which was Battle for the Badlands, which was over in Illinois. And quite a few players got 3 wins, which is pretty good. Yes, let's have a look at these lists. Let's have a look at these lists. That was a 2K tournament. This one, the other tournament that was on over the weekend, that meets my qualifying criteria, which is currently 3 games, at least 10 players, somewhere between 1750 to 2,500 points. Anyway, this particular tournament that Craig Valenjak won was a 2,250 point tournament, which is quite interesting. So we'll have a look at, are there any high elves that did quite well? There's no high elves at all. Okay, so wood elves, Craig Valenjak with his wood elves managed to win this. It's got dragon, glade lord, dragon, befuddlement and mischief. It's got a shadow dancer, a spellweaver, no treeman ancient, which is interesting. He's got a couple of units deepwood scouts. Their core, one of these units can be core for every 1,000 points, so he's done that. He's got a decent chunk of dryads, which are toughness 4 and skirmish, so I think they're pretty good. You don't really want too many of them because they're quite expensive. They haven't really got great armor, but toughness 4 and skirmisher means you're not going to be shooting them very much. And he's got some war dancers and a couple of tree men, and tree men are in combat pretty nasty. So yeah, there's nothing in this there's no sisters as well. So there's no they've gone for high magic with a spellweaver as well, which is pretty smart. But maybe he's got lore familiar with the shadow dancers, so maybe this is where he's getting his plague of rust from. That makes sense, doesn't it? But then again, he's not got a ton of shooting, like units of 7, so that's 7, 8. So he's not got a lot of shooting really. But I suppose Plague of Rust, in combination with Dryads and their millions of attacks, should work quite well. So yeah, that's quite interesting. Jacob Mack came. Actually, let's have a look at Justin McGlone, because he was undefeated. He just wasn't quite able to get wins in a couple of those games. He's got a Sorceress on a Dark Pegasus. Interestingly, Cold One, Black Dragon, Dreadlord on a Black Dragon. Funnily enough, I think the Black Dragon's the one dragon that you want a Sorceress on, because its breath weapon is amazing. So you're going to want maybe, I don't know, but he seems to have done quite well with it, so what the hell do I know? Shut up, Dan. Then we've got some Dark Riders, some Warriors, some Witch Elves, a War Hydra, Cold One Knights, Blackguards, Reaper Bolt Throwers. So again, there's nothing here that stands out as being amazing. Also got Pendant of Caleth. I'm going to open a folder and hopefully it goes into the right window. Yep. Rather than showing you like a load of client files, which I've done a few videos now where I've accidentally opened up something here that's got like client data on, and then I've had to delete the whole goddamn video and start again. Sorry, goddamn. Build the universe. What am I doing? I'm looking at books. I'm looking for Dark Elves. I want to know what the pardon me, what the pendant of Caleth is. It is 5 at ward. Oh, it's like a super. That's pretty good. 4 at ward against. That's smart, actually. Yeah. Because the Black Dragon makes him toughness 6. So basically, anything that's strength 4 needs 6s to wound. Anything that needs less than 6s to wound gets a 4 at ward again. So that's pretty smart. That's pretty clever. Well done, Justin. You've unlocked the cheat code there. But other than that, there's nothing really that kind of sticks out. It's just a pretty well balanced list with a bit of everything in, which is nice to see that pretty well balanced lists with a bit of everything in are doing okay. Which is similar to this one, you know. There's nothing overpowered. Yeah, I've been using ChatGPT to try and put the data from thingy into a table, but like, you know, it's ChatGPT is not very consistent. You often have to tell it, no, not like that. No, you're not listening. Right, and then so that's just it. And then there was a Dark Elf. Dark Elves do well here. I think they're pretty strong though. No, that's clearly Bretonia. Andrew Longoria. Seth Longoria. Is Andrew Longoria... What? I don't know what's happened here. It seems that Seth has been replaced by his brother, who's then taken Bretonians. And got 3rd. Let's have a look at Empire. They've not been doing very well in the meta so far. Actually, 2250 is a good points limit for Bretonia, because 2000 is not quite enough for all that you want in a balanced list, whereas 2250 basically allows you to take the Green Knight or Elise Ducar. Mounted Knights of the Realm, Errant, Men-at-Arms, quite a lot of Men-at-Arms actually. Got 53 of them, don't fancy painting that. Says the bloke who's nearly done 80 skeletons. Ugh, boring. Pegasus Knights, Mounted Yeomen, some Grail Knights. Yeah, I think small units of Grail Knights are a bit of a cheat code. Because he could actually, he's got 9, he could have had 3 units of 3, which I think is, because like the little bullets, you know, I think Bretonia is about sort of smaller units all doing like chip damage and just gradually like chipping away. I think that's weirdly how Bretonia works. But, you know, what do I know? I just got a wooden spoon at a tournament. Right, anyway, let's have a look at some of these. So we've got quite a lot of... so this is a big tournament. I think the biggest... There's 62 competitors rocked up. So we've got some really good lists that got 3-0. So let's have a look at all those. But out of all of them, Corey Spaeth. How many have I done? 3. Corey Spaeth did best. I'm not sure how they did that, because if these have got essentially 3 massive victories, unless they did there is a, oh yes, it's best coast pairings, isn't it? So it always finds a way of, so it can look at stuff like strength of schedule, so battle point strength of schedule, so 13.89, presume, yeah, that was above, or yeah, not extended. So basically Corey faced opposition that did better overall, which is, you know, I'm not a massive fan of that, to be honest, but whatever. Cool. So this is a 2K list. Chaos Dwarves? Yeah, it was Chaos Dwarves. So Chaos Dwarves getting 3 wins. Sorcerer Prophet. You're always going to have one of those in a Chaos Dwarf list, I think. Infernal Guard are great. Yeah. Iron Demon, I think, are pretty good. He's got a magma cannon, 2 hobgoblin bolt throwers, a dread crate. So there's lots of artillery in this. But the artillery, I've done it again, where I've sat down and not bothered to sort out my chair first. But yeah, the artillery, pretty good. And some bull centaurs. Again, there's nothing overbalanced here. There's 3 units of Infernal Guard, but they're quite small. They are quite expensive, though, to be honest. But yeah, I think you can put them in a detachment. So I think no, it can't be a detachment because the detachments are up to half the regimental unit, aren't they? Don't really know what's going on there. Yeah, I think it is. Chaos Dwarves do have that option, don't they? But obviously he's just not taking it. But yeah, it's a really shooty heavy list. He's got some renders for a bit of counter punch, and he's got some sneaky gets for like charge blocking and shenanigans and stuff. So Matthew is hoping to burn the opponent down before they get to it. Now then, what's his items do? Bale. Oh, he's on a Bale Taurus, so he's got his own version of a dragon. I mean, Chaos Dwarves don't have this. It's the big Taurus, so he goes up to toughness 6. Okay, so it's basically a dragon, really, isn't it? Blazing body, born of fire, close order. I don't know what close order. The mystical close order. Yeah, what's his magic items again? Armor, meteoric iron. Oh, that's a common one, isn't it? Mantle of stone. Mantle of stone isn't. I think Mantle of Stone's one of these. Mantle of Stone. +1 modified to toughness, but -1 initiative. Yeah, great. So is he? I think he's toughness 5 native, isn't he? The Castellan. Oh no, it's not a Castellan, is it? It's the where the bloody hell is it? Sorcerer Prophet. There we go, toughness 5. So that's toughness 7. And rubbish initiative, but we don't really care about that because toughness 7's great. So that's a really good, like, mobile destruction thing. What's he gone for? Elementalism. Curious. But yeah, that's quite a good list. Adam Fletcher got 3 wins with this list as well. He's got a weird knob with the Ruby Ring of Ruin, Wow Magic, blah 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 on a Wyvern. That's the general. He's done that so Wow Magic can do their cool. So they got 2 spells, one of which allows you to reroll hit rolls of 1 and improves AP by 1. And that's within your command range. So general on a large target gets an 18-inch command range, and then the other War Magic spell. He's got Lore Familiar, so he can pick them. Lore Familiar, I think everybody's going to have at some point. It's going to be one of those items everybody takes. As picking your spells is really, really impactful because then you can dictate the game. Especially in a tournament, because you need reliability. So you're going to see that a lot. And then he's got a war boss on a Wyvern. So he's got 2 dragons, basically, but 2 relatively cheap dragons. Trollhide Trousers, they're like a 4-up regen or something. But basically, this is defensive. This is defensive. Giant Blade is pretty good. So actually, Giant Blade does multiple wounds, doesn't it? So this one's for hunting. He's got Frenzy as well. Oh, that's smart, isn't it? Yeah, because the Wyvern has heavy armor, I think, or maybe even full plate. And then he's got his defensive stuff here. But Frenzy means he doesn't... But additional hand weapon... Why has he got an additional hand weapon and a Giant Blade? He gets the extra attack because of Frenzy, but he doesn't get the extra attack because of additional giant hand weapon. Because he's got the Giant Blade. That's interesting. Maybe... Yeah, whatever. But But yeah, this is all cool. Don't know why he's giving it the biting blade. Probably just had some spare points, but I'd rather had another orc than a biting blade on the weird knob. Then he's got some orcs. All savage orcs, basically. Nice. Good lad. Everybody likes a savage orc. From a distance, obviously. He's got some chariots, 3 bolt throwers. You're going to see this quite a bit, I think, because bolt throwers are 45 points. You know, they're cheap, but they're really good. Demon diver catapults, 2 of them. Yeah, this is points well spent. Because he's basically spent 350 points, which isn't a big chunk of your army, on some super effective artillery. And then a giant. It's super effective because there's a lot of it, right? So every turn you're going to get one shot off doing exactly what you want with it, right? So that's why it's effective, because you can buy them in numbers. So that's pretty good. There's got a load of savage orcs running around causing mayhem and a couple of dragons. Khemri. Oh, Cetra. Cetra's a bit of a beast, to be honest. If you look at his rules, he's pretty good. Then we got a Harold. A Harold. It's not a herald today. It's a Harold. A Royal Harold. Royal Harold Bishop. And then we got a Tomb King on a chariot with the Noga blade and a talisman of protection. Curious. There's got 6 chariots, 6 tomb guard chariots, 6 chariots, 6 necropolis knights. Well, that can't join anything, can it? Isn't that a heavy chariot? I think if you put the Tomb King on a chariot, it's a heavy chariot. I think. I'm not sure, but no, it isn't a chariot, is it? So that's on a chariot as well, yeah. So Cetra does Cetra go with the Herald in a? Oh man, he's got basically like 3 units that are going to slap really hard but take up a lot of the table. I think that could be like, this list could encounter problems if there's a lot of scenery on the table. So I think Corey's main problem in the battle will be just getting around all the scenery, but because the base is massive. But that looks really interesting. That looks like a really interesting list, actually. Cool. James Silva again. Orcs and goblins doing well at the top of the table. Got a Black Hawk on a Wyvern, great. He's got an odd knob with a ruin wolf chariot, which gives him a lot of speed and 360 arcs, so that's pretty good. It's not the general though. He's got the Idol of Mork, which I forget what that does. Night Goblins. He's got some Night Goblins. He's got some Fanatics. Yeah. He's got his Black Hawk mob, which is quite a big one actually. It's got quite a big Black Hawk mob. And he's got some Spider Riders. Just 5 of them. Don't know what they're for, but they're there. Just to get in the way, probably. And then he's got a Boar Boy mob. I like these. I like the Boar Boys. I think they're pretty good. The new orcs look great because they've got Black Orc Boar Boys. It sounds awesome. And then it's got a spider and a couple of... Mangler Squigs seem to be really popular. There's something about them that instinctively just, I don't know, feels a bit wrong with me. But, you know, I get stuff wrong all the time, so I'm probably wrong about them. I should probably get some Mangler Squigs. The models are fantastic, so... Right, then Warriors of Chaos, which is Blue Ford. Is that an actual name? If that's an actual name, that's amazing. 100% top marks for an amazing name. Blue Ford. I mean, Ford is a surname and Blue is a forename, but together, amazing. Anyway, he's named his characters as well. Legend. Oh, brilliant. I don't care. It's a great list already because he's named his characters. Ezor the Unstoppable. Fantastic. Right, anyway, shut up, Dan. Read the list. So he's got Shazul the Merciless, which is presumably... Oh, actually, no, it's a bit more interesting. He's gone for Mark of Nurgle, which means you're re-rolling 6s to hit against it. This is definitely a Chaos Lord. Mark of Chaos Undivided and the Mark of Nurgle. I presume that's a bit of a typo from using the Old World Builder. By the way, if you are using Old World Builder, it's not accurate. You do need to check it up against an army list once you've got your list selected. It's a tool to compile your army list quickly and to help you do maths. It's not a tool that validates lists. Right. He's got 2 Favour of the Gods. Again, they're 5 points each. They allow you to re-roll it, just roll that every turn. It's got Ogre Blade, which is the Ogre Blade comes up a lot. It seems to be very popular. Paymaster's Coin, that means 1 turn he can re-roll all his hit rolls. So, if he's charging this into another dragon, popping off Paymaster's Coin, in combination with the Ogre Blade that does multiple wounds, blah, blah, blah. Enchanting Aura means basically you get strike first. It doesn't. It means that opponents with the strike first keyword lose it, and those without it get strike last, which it's effectively you get strike first. It's a dumb wording. Anyway, whatever. Kirex, Bringer of Fire. Level 4s, each wizard, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, exactly. He's gone for battle magic, though. So presumably he's going for defensiveness. He's got 3 units of Warhounds. Again, super, super smart. He's put Vanguard on 2 of them. I mean, I'd probably, if it were me, I'd drop one of those favours and put the other unit as Vanguard, because being able to peg them up the table before even the first turn starts is really, really super useful. He's got the 3 small units of Dragon Ogres. Again, super smart. You see that a lot. Dragon Ogres are amazing. The stat lines are just great. And like being single and on their own, you get 360 arcs, blah, blah, blah. So they're really good at protecting flanks. And he's got a giant, which is interesting. I've been looking at the giant. In fact, I've been looking at the big, massive 300-point giant, which looks fantastic. And it only just fits on the base, which I think is marvellous. And he's carrying around a trebuchet. But it's like 150 quid, and I think the wife might get cross if I got it. Turn off Snap is Corey. So Corey won the tournament. Well done, Mr. Spaith. His list is called Turn Off Snap. Turn off Snap. Chat? Snapchat? Is that what that means? Is he addicted to the Snapchat? Well, yeah. Anyway, shut up, Dan. He's maxed out on characters. He's got High Elves, who have been doing quite badly in the meta. So we've got a Prince with the Shield, Star Dragon, Dragon Helm. None of this is surprising. We've seen all this before. He's got an Archmage also on a Star Dragon. And that's it. Also with Seed of Rebirth. Then he's got a unit of... That is interesting, isn't it? Because then he's just got some just dross rubbish. The rest of it's just rubbish, basically. Just sort of, it all gets in the way. So he's, because he can make that ethereal, right? An ethereal dragon, right? Oh, yeah. Like, I've been thinking about, like, because everybody's been taking like Chaos Lords on a dragon and just going like full combat, but like you can take a Chaos Lord like and give it demonology and stuff it on a dragon, because the demonology law allows you to basically add one, like with their 2 spells, add 1 strength, toughness, initiative and attacks, I think, is with all the buffy spells and extra rend and stuff like that. Extra AP, sorry. So, like, it's pretty, demonology on the back of, like, a Chaos Dragon. And Chaos Sorcerer Lords are pretty good anyway. So, this... I actually, Demonic Vessel and Demonic Vigor, I've been playing, I've not been picking them. I'd much rather have Steed of Shadows, Gathering Darkness and Vortex. I find these a bit more, and then the Zinch spell, obviously, but I find these more useful. But yeah, +1 move, toughness and initiative, and then also +1 strengths and attacks and AP. Like, sticking all that on a dragon would make it, pretty darn powerful. So, I think this double dragon is definitely the way to go for high elves. Yeah, I think that's pretty good actually. And then the rest of this stuff just kind of stands around and hopes for Lion Chariots of Krace. I think these are really good as well, actually. Phoenix Guard are definitely their best unit though. Full stop. So Phoenix Guard, Lion Chariots. I like Kracian, Lion Warriors, I think they're just called. So yeah, so Corey won it with High Elves, which is, going some, looking at the meta. So these are the two results this weekend. There was quite a few at 1,500 points, but nothing that I could really use. So yeah, you got Battle for the Badlands 3 and Old World Santa Fe. But yeah, there was a bit on. So let's edit the search and just have a check out what's on over this coming weekend. So we've got 1,500 points. A tournament called Battle. It's Australian, of course it is. Squarebase GT2. This is Rob Symes's. Element Legends. Oh my god, there's a tournament of Element Games. How did I miss that? Oh damn it! I like Element Games. It's a nice gaming venue actually. It's a bit of a pain in the arse because it's upstairs basically, but yeah, it's a really good venue, Element. And it's good for a 2-dayer because it's basically just over the road. There's a really cheap hotel where the food is actually not terrible. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Shut up, Dan. And then these don't seem to. Old World RTT at Leighton Gaming. Is that Florida? $2,000 points. So we'll probably be covering that next week. And Squarebase GT2. I'm surprised he's only got 7 players, but he signs people up on not this. I think you have to buy tickets through Eventbrite. I hate Eventbrite. Like, it's so rubbish. Like, finding things on Eventbrite is such a pain in the arse. But yeah, cool. I'll have to message him, see if he's got any tickets left. Right. It's 5 rounds. I can't. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. But I was just thinking, I can't go because I've got family stuff to do and rugby for the boy and all the rest. So yeah, 1 day, 3 games. No painting requirement. We've been seeing that quite a bit. Cool. So that's what's going on. So we've got a decent tournament going on at Element Games, which is a great store. We've got Rob Symes doing his Squarebase GT2, which will probably be streamed live and all the rest. So he's on Twitch, probably under Honest Wargamer, or he keeps creating new brands. It's quite, I don't know which one it'll be on, but whatever. Float around Rob Symes' stuff on Twitter, and you'll find out where you can watch that. And then Return to the Old World. That seems to be. So there's a few bits going on over the weekend, and a 5-game tournament, which is quite nice. So, and there's also the Australian Battle, which apparently is 4 rounds, which is presumably 2 days Saturday, 2 games Sunday. So we'll have a look at that. So an interesting weekend coming up. So, how's the meta look at the moment? Well, we haven't had that many more results for Lizardman, which is not helpful because the data that we've got for Lizardman makes them look pretty good at the moment. We're starting to get towards a decent level of results here. What was that number that I'm working at? Oh, kurtosis, yeah. So what I'm trying to do is some kind of testing just to see if there's enough data here for the parametric stuff to be effective. So that's what these figures are at the bottom. We're doing a few more statistical tests. Kurtosis, basically, actually all of these look fine. They look vaguely normally distributed. These figures, basically you want it to be between like +4 and like -1.5, -2, because you don't want the data to be excessively platykurtic or leptokurtic, which means it's not a normal distribution, and therefore stuff like averages doesn't, whatever. This is a sense test to essentially say, is the data like properly distributed in like a normal distribution-ish enough that we can do the tests that you would do on a normal distribution. So is the data normal enough for us to do like tests like average? So like, bit of a stats lesson, but just taking an average of like 5 numbers doesn't really give you an average, because if you've just got 5 numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a flat distribution, and therefore an average of those 5 isn't actually really an average because you've not got enough data. So, well, okay, it is an average. It is, you can measure the mean of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. However, it doesn't mean there's no. You've got to be careful using words with statistics. I nearly said it was not significant, but there's another test for significance. But the mean has no interpretative value of that small data set, or of a data set, with that distribution. Because if you had 1,000 ones, 1,000 twos, 1,000 threes, there would still be a mean that's average, but because the distribution's nowhere near normal, it's a totally pointless test. So that's what I'm doing down here, is to see, well, how useful actually is this data, and we're getting towards it being vaguely useful, so that's nice. So yeah, we've just not really got enough results with Lizardman for us to say anything conclusive yet. Dark Elves are looking a bit too good. So basically what I've got here is 3 tests. So one of them is pardon me. One of them is where they finish in tournaments. One of them is win percentage, and this other figure in the middle. So that's like position rank. This is like win rank, and this is like variance, variability, reliability. Rank, let's call it that. That's better. So we've got win percentage, we've got reliability, and then we've got where they finish like positionally. So you can ignore the numbers basically, but essentially if we've got 3 greens, that means this faction's doing very, very well. So Lizardmen are doing very, very well, and Dark Elves are doing very, very well. So well done them. Well done GW, the 2 legacy factions, and they're the ones that are outperforming. There's 2 factions that are mid with all 3 across all 3 measures. So we've got Demons of Chaos and Tomb Kings of Khemri. So Tomb Kings of Khemri kind of were slipping up, not slipping up, but you know what I mean, slipping into the possibly overpowered category. Great content. Watch a bloke drink some soup. It's supposed to be carrot and coriander. Doesn't taste of either. Anyway, sort of just tastes like vaguely spicy. It's rather bizarre, but not unpleasant. Anyway, What's the launch another channel where I review instant soup mixes. So Wood Elves, although they've got a really high win rank, they've got a really high position rank, so they tend to do well in tournaments. They win lots of games, however, they're terrifically unreliable. So some people are taking Wood Elves and doing really badly, and some people are taking Wood Elves and doing really well. What I also need to do is like some maths here, like how many games does a normal person win at like at a 3/5 game tournament. So you know what, whether you're normal or whether whatever. It was Ogre Kingdoms at the bottom last time. Now Vampire Counts have slightly fallen behind them, but I think it's not because of results, is it? Ogre Kingdoms. Now this is Ogre Kingdoms are worrying because they win very few games. They finish towards the bottom in tournaments. Now these two, they win rank and position rank. Obviously, they'll look very similar. However, as you can see, it doesn't always work that way. So, for instance, positionally, Bretonia positioned well in tournaments, typically finishing above in tournaments, Khemri. However, they have the same win percentage. So that would suggest, I think, that that they're drawing. No, they're not drawing more, because this is what points measures. This is like wins plus a third of a win for whatever. Anyway, so Khemri are drawing more, and yet Bretonia are still doing better in tournaments in terms of positioning higher than Tomb Kings. That's an interesting dynamic. Anyway, back to ogres. It's normal for ogres to come. In fact, it's normal for ogres to win between 0 and let's say 57. Yeah, let's say 0 to 3 games from a 5-game tournament. That's what a normal ogre player will be doing. And this win percentage figure here is really, really super low. So they're reliably crap, basically. Which is interesting. So if you do finish top half of a tournament with ogres, you're a good Warhammerer. Cool. So if you want to play Warhammer Old World on hard mode, this is where you should be looking, basically, down here. Empire, Skaven, Ogres, Vampire Counts. Vampire Counts, I think they're not intrinsically bad. I think that people haven't worked them out yet because there's so much choice. And I said the same about Empire, and to an extent about Dwarves, and actually Chaos Dwarves, to be fair. There's so much choice, it's difficult to work out what's good. Skaven and Ogres, I think there's something intrinsically broken about them, in that there's something, not broken as in, they're breaking the game sort of thing, but there's something. Internal balance is good within these two factions, actually, Skaven and Ogres, but external balance, so how well they balance within the overall world of Warhammer, that's there's something broken in terms of their relationship with the rest of it. So Skaven are pretty terrible, as are Ogres, which makes, what is wrong with me? I want to take Ogres again now. Next tournament's on the 5th and the 6th. I'm going to Rob Symes, but I really should take Warriors of Chaos. I'll tell you what it is. I don't like taking factions that are at the top of the meta, because it might prove to me that I'm rubbish if I don't hit that 50% win rate with Warriors of Chaos. But yeah, so a normal Warriors of Chaos will be winning somewhere between 24 and 82% of their games. So off a 5-win tournament, that's 1 to 4 is a normal result for a Chaos Warrior player. So yeah, I hope so. Actually, this data is getting forwards to being a bit more accurate. Again, what I'd really like to see is all of these results being up to 30. And then what I'm probably going to do is start applying some values that kind of devalue results historically. So for instance, like a result from a year ago is worth less than a result from a month ago. So like adding a kind of measure that accounts for how recent a result was. So some kind of entropy function essentially that like degrades results over time. But that's way off into the future. But anyway, so I hope that's been helpful. I hope this sort of helps people to understand how they're picking their games and what's happening in the tournament meta. I mean, I've always found this. I know some people don't like stats, and some people find this all terrifically boring. But I don't. I really like my stats. I really like looking at numbers and going, "Ooh, 59 is different to 55." But why is it different to 55 on this occasion? That's the kind of the statistical. So that's why I've color coded this bit, so then you can sell like Demons of Chaos, perfectly balanced, nothing wrong with them. Tomb Kings, perfectly balanced, nothing wrong with them. Bretonia, position a bit too high, and they're a bit too reliable at the moment. And realistically, but to be fair, actually, that's a pretty good spread. Like, what you don't want is like 2 greens and 2 reds. So you don't want 2 dog factions and 2 like overpowered factions, then everybody else in the middle, because then the position rank would look like that as well. So this kind of a third, actually, that's a pretty good balance in terms of like the overall meta. So I think they're getting it right. It's just this figure's a bit worrying. Lizardman, 68% average win percentage. That's a bit high. Vampire counts, the opposite, literally the opposite, with 32% win rate. Like, they talk about everything being between 40 and 60, and that's, probably a good idea. But it's difficult to say anything without more data, because it's just not enough. It's just not enough. Bretonia has probably got the most reliable data set with 50 entrants at the moment, and to be fair, like, this is bang on, like 50%, so somewhere between 27 and 75% win percentage for a faction. That's spot on. This is peak game balance achieved here. Tomb Kings, again, they're not too far off, so everything I think is going all right. High Elves percentages are coming up, as I think people are beginning to figure them out, so that's good. Demons, we've not. Oh, that's what I should take, isn't it? I should take my stupid Slanesh demon list. Yes. Although, no, I don't want to do that yet. Anyway, shut up, Dan. You're getting boring. Right. It's time for me to end this charade and say good night, because it's 10:15. I've still got to upload the video, and I'd like a cup of hot chocolate before I go to bed. So I shall wish you all a pleasant whatever you're doing, and catch you again soon. Toodles.